けましょう。マコくんが勝ったらどんな願いでも叶えてあげるわ。
ギャルのパンティくれって言ったら、
もうマコちゃんとらといと。
ギャル言うてますがな。
そんなの隣の部屋からいくらでも調達できるじゃない。変なマコくん。
そうだそうだ、俺は変です。だから言わせてもらうが、あんたの脳みそは大変だ。
Source: Ground Control to Psychoelectric Girl. Welcome back to aniquickrecaps. Like and subscribe so you can get 100 girlfriends. The story starts with a girl walking home after spending time at the beach. Soon after, we see Makoto rushing to the train station to catch a train to the city where he will be living with his aunt for a few years. Makoto's parents had to go abroad for work, leaving him to complete his education in the city. He is excited about the new environment he will be facing, and the fact that his aunt is a working woman. Makoto imagines having the house to himself as his aunt won't be home often. He has a photograph of his aunt and is looking for her at the station. She's giving Aunt May some competition. Anyway, she is waiting for him right in front of him when she sees Makoto. Her name is Meme. A funny name to start, but okay. They get in the cab to go home. The city is roamed by different UFOs, and that is why it is called the land looked over by the aliens. A cool city nonetheless. They get home, and the first thing Makoto sees is a girl wrapped in a futon on the ground right by the door. This is new for him, but Meme doesn't seem to be worried about that. Meme happily welcomes Makoto into the home while Makoto cannot stop thinking about the girl on the ground. The dinner was ready and Meme made a lot of food for Makoto. She lets Makoto know that she won't be joining him for dinner on weekdays, so he will have to cook for himself. Meme is smiling while talking to Makoto, but the girl wrapped in a futon is sitting with them on the dinner table. This is distracting for him and straight up asks Meme about her. The girl starts kicking Makoto under the table and tells him that he cannot touch her. She is Meme's daughter Irio. Irio starts kicking Makoto and being annoyed. Makoto grabs her leg and throws her on the ground. Meme doesn't seem to care about her daughter. Irio picks up the stool with her legs and throws it on the table, ruining the dinner table. Meme picks Irio and slams her on the door. The next day, Makoto gets ready to go to school, and coming out of the room, he notices Irio's room. It's all shiny and has a weird ambience. Entering the room, he stumbles on Irio wrapped in the futon again. Getting the rusty cycle out of the garage, Makoto goes to school. After a good day at school, he gets home before noon. Makoto enters the house and sees Irio watching the TV, wrapped up. He goes to her and introduces himself. There is a knock at the door, and it's a pizza delivery guy. Irio ordered a pizza. Makoto realizes that she can socially interact. Makoto is sure she cannot eat pizza being wrapped like a futon, but Irio picks up half of the pizza and magically eats it. A little while after, Meme calls home to see if Makoto is doing alright. She tells her he can eat whatever he wants because she won't be home for the night. Makoto also asks about Irio and what to do about her, but Meme just doesn't care about Irio. They plan to go to the supermarket to get something to eat. With Irio wrapped up, Makoto puts her in the front basket of the cycle and heads to the supermarket. Reaching the supermarket, he pulls the strings of the mattress she is wrapped in and he gets a clear look at her real appearance. She looks like an extraterrestrial being to him by her looks. She is perfect in every sense. Irio shares her secret with him and tells him that she is an alien looking over the Earthlings. Earth is being targeted and this city is the testing ground for the aliens. Makoto finally met Irio. At night, Irio and Makoto are sitting together while they eat their dinner. All these experiments sound very funny to me. Makoto asks her about the reason for acting like an alien, but she assures him that she is a real alien. Irio is skeptical and asks why he accepted her as an alien before but isn't accepting her now. Yeah, she is crazy. The next day, after taking the class, Makoto is heading back home. In the parking area, he is getting his cycle and a girl comes up to him. Introducing herself as Ryuko, she asks where he lives. Makoto shows her the map and Ryuko offers Makoto to become the road buddy and ride home together as she has the same route. Makoto agrees. Ryuko puts on a helmet and notices that Makoto doesn't have one. Makoto is happy to meet her. The next day, Irio orders Makoto to be her assistant, but Makoto ignores and leaves for the school. In school, Makoto gets to his class and only one student is sitting there. He goes and sits right next to this student and she starts chatting with Makoto, telling him that she is one of his classmates. Makoto is confused, but she tells him that people don't believe her because she is a little tall and looks older. During the lunch break, Ryuko offers Makoto to eat their lunch together. They are sitting together when a girl comes to Ryuko and tells her some things to do, calling Ryushi. She doesn't like the name Ryushi and tells Makoto that a student a year ago called her Ryushi and said that this name sounded good. After chatting with Ryuko, walking by the ground, Makoto meets the same tall girl again. She asks Makoto if he is planning on joining any club. All the clubs don't want her because she is a tall person and a little weak for her size. They decide to go home together. Makoto is really happy with him, riding home with girls for 2 days consecutively. At home, Ario is again on the ground and kicks Makoto, saying she reciprocated him for being mean to an extraterrestrial in the morning. She tells him to go out for an operation with her after sunset. Makoto agrees. They go out after the sun has set. Ario is telling Makoto all the directions and they end up at the sea. Makoto feels very happy being at the sea when Ario decides to fall into the water. She is sinking and Makoto runs to help her. He gets her out of the water. Makoto is taking her home and on the way, Meikawa, the tall girl, stops them. She notices Ario in the basket and tells Makoto that she went missing a year ago and comes back saying she is an alien sent to look over Earth. Upon reaching home, Makoto asks her mother about it and she tells him everything. Ario went missing and came back with her memory lost. She even tried to prove that she was an alien by flying with a bicycle, but she injured herself. She doesn't remember anything in those 6 months. Makoto feels sad for her and Meme adds that she made stories about aliens to feel good about herself because she doesn't remember anything. In the school, Makoto and Ryuko are having lunch together and Ryuko asks Makoto about his hobbies. He tells her about his love for the deep sea creatures. He finds them cute but in a gross way. Makoto's school life is going great but the life at home is not going like he wanted. He goes with Ario to that sea 3 days a week. They randomly meet Meikawa on the way back home. He is with Meikawa in the park one night and asks her about aliens, like what she thinks about them. She thinks aliens are like a religion. Some people believe way too much in them. The next day, Makoto has plans with Ryuko because it's a day off. They go to a restaurant and try different drinks there. Makoto can't try a lot because he cannot drink carbonated stuff. They are sitting and chatting about each other. Makoto asks Ryuko a very serious question. If she finds anything to be mystical around her, she answers that she finds everything from walking to hearing, speaking and eating, etc. to be mystical. Makoto likes this answer and tells her that she passed. They spend a good day around the city and Makoto feels satisfied with his day off. He is riding home and sees Ario walking somewhere. He offers her a ride and starts saying stuff like he knows she can't fly, and that she is using aliens to make up for the agony she is going through of having no memory at all of her past. They get home, but Makoto wants to talk to her about what she went through, but Ario doesn't want to speak to a feeble-minded humanoid. That is just a brutal diss. A little later, Makoto is in his room and Meme comes in. She wants to play with him, but Makoto is a little weirded out. Hugging him, Meme tells him to back off if he is after Ario's looks. She wants him to let her be like she wants. She wants to be alone and he should respect her decision. Makoto explains that he cannot just do that, not because of affection or something. It's just out of curiosity. Meme tells him that she doesn't even remember when Ario was born because all her memories about her are vague. Makoto is a little quiet all of a sudden. Meme asks to sleep together, but Makoto kicks her out of the room. The next day, Makoto is determined to show Ario what reality is. He wants to fly with her and tell her if she can't, she has to accept herself as an earthling. Ario agrees. They are off to the flying mission. Ario is in the basket and Makoto is riding the bike. He plans to go down the road slope toward the sea and stop at the right time when Ario's fear kicks in. But he cannot stop the bike once he is on the slope. The bike sinks and Makoto gets his head out of the water. Ario doesn't want to admit that she is an earthling, but Makoto assures him that they can get along well. He asks Ario to introduce herself as an earthling and she does. It's the start of a new journey for these two. Makoto explains what adolescence points are and how they work. He explains that collecting 20 points in a year is something to be proud of. Anyways, Makoto is explaining all this because he has some spare time. His arm snapped when he crashed into the water. Makoto and Ario didn't exchange any work after coming to the shore. Coming to the shore wasn't easy for him. He feels like crying because of his pain but sticks through. In the hospital, he gets back to his bed after coming back from the washroom and Meme is hiding under the blanket on his bed. Dang, his aunt is really scary. He is resting when he asks Meme about Ario. She didn't say anything about Makoto. Makoto is surprised that Meme wasn't mad or anything when rushed to the hospital. She just filled out the form for admission and here we are. Meme starts telling Makoto a story because she seems to think Makoto is having trouble sleeping. Makoto asks her about Ario's father. Meme tells him that he is abroad and they kind of broke up. She is now a single mother but thinks of making Makoto her husband's replacement. Hearing this, Makoto starts acting like he has a fever and needs to sleep so she can leave him alone. These kinds of aunts scare the crap out of me. Makoto saves the points that were about to be removed from his score. A little later, he is reading a book and Ryuko comes to visit him. She sits next to the bed and puts on a hat. He asks her about the hat and Ryuko explains that her hair is embarrassing. That's why she brought a hat to cover her hair. He thinks she is too cute and Ryuko finds it a bit creepy. She is dumb, I can say that much. She asks Komodo if he jumped into the sea attempting suicide. He tells her that wasn't his intention but was ready to die right before hitting the water. Ryuko is considerate and tells him to never think that way about life. She is caring and wants Makoto to be happy. Makoa enters the room with an eggplant costume on. Makoto is surprised to see her as well as Ryuko. Ryuko wonders why is she here. Makoa is here for Makoto because they are friends after the one night they spent together. Ryuko bashes out of the room hearing about this. Anyways, Makoa asks Makoto the same question about jumping in the sea. Makoto thinks she knows why he did it. Makoa thinks they should go to the beach. This was out of the blue. Ryuko comes back and tells Makoa that boys and girls should not go to the beach together because it is an illicit relationship. But Makoa knows Makoto is way past that. She tells Ryuko and Makoto has to tell her that Ario is her cousin. Ryuko cannot believe it and Makoto adds that he is also living with her. This is brand new information, even for Makoa. It's been 2 weeks and Makoto is discharged from the hospital. He is wondering about the time in the hospital and gets home. Entering the home, he sees a lot of notes on the entrance that Meme had put to welcome him home. Makoto is confused but understands it's Meme's doing. He goes to the kitchen and is a little hungry. Upon opening the fridge, he finds Meme inside the fridge acting crazy. She gets out of the fridge and wants to celebrate Makoto's coming home. She wants to eat outside and tells Makoto to go get Ario. Makoto is hesitant but goes upstairs to her room. He enters the room and Ario is scared at first but asks about his arm. He tells her that Meme wants to eat outside, so she should get the futon off her and come down. Makoto and Ario go outside and Meme is waiting with a cycle for them. Meme gets on the back seat while Ario sits in the basket as usual. Makoto is driving the bike thinking about Ario and if aliens are real. The mother and the daughter both need to be in an asylum. Makoto and Ario get home after shopping. They enter the home and see Meme wrapped in a futon right in front of the door. They walk past her ignoring her and she gets up and runs toward them. This woman is freaky at times. She asks where they were and Makoto tells her that they went shopping. She is acting like crazy because today is her birthday and she turned 40 today. Suddenly, Meme remembers that she didn't celebrate Ario's birthday last year, so they are celebrating it tomorrow. Ario got a gift for her mother, and it's Dango. They are looking cute interacting with each other and Makoto likes it. The next day at school, Makoto and Ryuko are having lunch together when Ryuko asks if Makoto has a part-time job. He doesn't but is planning on getting one. He asks Ryuko if she is busy after school because he wants to go shopping. Ryuko agrees first, but Makoto tells her he wants to get something for Ario because they are having a birthday party for her tomorrow. Ryuko suddenly doesn't want to go with him. She is angry about something and Makoto asks her, but she doesn't give a straight answer. Makoto asks Maikawa after school and she agrees. She takes him to the shop she works at after school and gets him a gift for Ario. They come out of the store and see a plastic bottle rocket in the air. Makoa tells Makoto about who shoots them every day. A little after, Makoto gets home and Mei and Irio are delighted to see him. They both are acting like a child in front of him. Makoto notices that Irio's hairstyle is a little different. Mei tells him that she recreated her hairstyle from her kindergarten days. She also has the same hair and is acting like a crazy child, saying stuff like her inner child made her do this. Yeah, she also offers her daughter to him. Crazy, right? Irio has something to talk to him about. They go to her room to have a little talk. Irio wraps herself in a futon to relax a little before the conversation, but Makoto isn't allowing it. He pulls the threads and opens the futon and gives her a gift. Irio likes it and thanks him. Irio has something serious to talk about though. She wants to tell her cousin about it before her mom. She wants to work and rejoin society. Makoto is shocked to hear this but is glad that she is taking some steps. 5 days after her declaration of rejoining the society, Makoto is taking Irio to a barber to get her a haircut first. Mei agree half-heartedly about Irio interacting with the outside world again. On the way, Makoto asks Irio if she ever joined any clubs in the school. She didn't but wanted to join the astronomy club really badly. At the barber shop, the barber asks how she wants her hair done. Irio leaves it to the barber to do his magic. The barber recognizes her as Mei's daughter and thinks she is just as cute as her mother. She also recognizes Makoto as a guy who leers at her aunt very much. This is because of Meikawa. Makoto finds an interview for Irio after the barber. Irio is rejected because she has a reputation for being the weird girl in the city. She is quite depressed, but Makoto offers to get her whatever she wants to eat. This cheers her up a little. After they get home, Mei feels depressed, sitting in front of the TV. Makoto tells her that Irio got rejected, but she knew this would happen. She knows a place where Irio will be hired and tells Makoto about it. The next day, Makoto takes Irio to a Tamura shop to replace the grandma there. They enter the shop and go inside. Grandma is sleeping in a room while it is pouring outside. Irio wakes her up and gives her glasses so she can see. They are meeting after a long time and Grandma remembers Irio and she also knows Makoto. Mei tells her about Irio and she hires her instantly. Grandma tells Makoto about animals disappearing in the city and thinks it's cattle mutilation. She thinks she is going to be the next victim of it. Makoto realizes that she is also Irio and responds to her as he responds to Irio. Every person in this city is like that. Ryuko is thinking about Makoto and how she feels good when she talks to him. After school, she is with her friend getting her bike. Her friends ask her about the rumor that Ryuko has a boyfriend now. She thinks she covered it up, but all she did was make herself look clumsy. They go to the Tamura shop to meet Grandma, but see Irio inside eating chips instead. Her friends think they should not come here anymore because of Irio, but Ryuko sees Makoto inside with Irio as well. She is up to something now. The next day, it's raining heavily and Ryuko is outside with an umbrella. She wants to confront Makoto, but sees 2 more people with umbrellas. She thinks they are also after Makoto when she bumps into Mei. Mei asks if she is also going to the camera shop. Ryuko covers up and says that she is waiting for an important friend. Mei realizes that she is waiting for someone special and calls her out saying she is in love. She hands Ryuko a Coke and Ryuko goes to the shop. She enters the shop and Makoto is surprised to see her. She says she is here to buy something and gets a bag of chips. Irio welcomes her for being here. Makoto thinks it would have been best if she did that when Ryuko first came in. Ryuko buys the chips and Irio takes the money. Ryuko wants to see Grandma, but she is in a bad mood and tells Ryuko to take her romantic comedy somewhere else. Ryuko and Makoto comes outside. Ryuko warns Makoto that Irio's reputation is pretty bad, especially in the school. If he is seen getting along with her anywhere, his reputation might be at stake and she doesn't want that to happen. Makoto understands this but has no other choice. Ryuko asks if Makoto hates him now for warning him. Makoto doesn't think that way and thinks she actually helped her friend out. Ryuko rushes out of there for no reason at all and Makoto is left thinking about what he should do about Irio. He comes in and is sitting with Grandma. Makoto is mumbling something and is pretty confused. Irio has wrapped herself again in Grandma's futon because she is feeling down for some reason. How can you feel good when you are literally wrapped in a futon? Anyways, Grandma asks Makoto about the thing that is bothering him. He asks her for advice on what he should do about Ario, because Ryuko just told him that he will be isolated if the rumor spreads of him getting along with Ario. Grandma drinks a jug of tea while explaining to him that being left alone is something you shouldn't fear because in the end, everyone leaves. He should not fear that his friends might leave him alone because that is just a part of his life. The next day, Meikawa and Makoto are sitting together. Meikawa wants to go to Makoto's home after school. Makoto thinks this is the chance to collect 3 points for himself, but he has no experience of taking girls home. Ryuko comes and Meikawa tells her that they are going to Makoto's home. Ryuko wants to join them as well. A little later, they are at his home and Ryuko is surprised to see no Footin outside the home like she imagined. They enter the home and look around the house. Ryuko finds a toy in Irio's room and starts playing with it, but Irio doesn't want her to. So she grabs it from her hands and sets it back where it was. They are now in Makoto's room and Meikawa is looking for adult magazines around. Irio only wants to wrap herself in a futon, but Makoto isn't letting her do that. Ryuko is excitedly asking Makoto about the deep-sea creatures he likes because she is jealous of Irio. He is answering Ryuko as also not letting Irio wrap herself in a futon. After that mess, they were about to leave and ran into Meme. She whispers something in Meikawa's ear, and they both decide to go out once again, telling Ryuko to find a boyfriend for herself while they are gone. This is about to be very awkward for them. Meikawa is working her shift after school when someone drops a cola bottle in front of her shop. She tells the manager, Komaki, about it. She tells Meikawa to just put them in the fridge so they can drink them after some time. Meikawa comes out of the store and the same plastic bottle rocket is seen launched into the sky. What a way to get someone's attention. She decides to go look for the site after school tomorrow so she can get to know who is launching all these bottles. The next day, Meikawa is having lunch with Makoto in the school cafeteria and asks why he isn't having lunch with Ryuko today. He tells her she is having lunch with her basketball team today. Meikawa is thinking of taking Makoto to the site today, but he has a broken arm. At the store, she is eating snacks Komako made for her outside the shop. Komaki comes outside to sit with her, and that guy launches the bottle rocket again. She asks Komaki about it, and she seems to think that this guy might be trying to reach outer space or whatever. Everyone has a weird explanation for everything. Meikawa is off for duty, and she is headed to the abandoned school to look for the guy who keeps launching all these rockets. She gets there and sees a man sitting on the ground with several plastic bottle rockets. She asks her about them, and he tells her that he can't make the real thing, so he does fulfill his hobby with these. I can understand my dude. He asks Meikawa to make a lot of rockets for them for 5,000 yen per rocket. She agrees. We are back where we left off in the last episode. Makoto, Ryuko, and Irio are waiting for Meikawa to come back. Makoto makes tea for everyone, which they keep rotating around the table instead of drinking. Meikawa is back and she is in a scientist cosplay. She went to get all the materials to make plastic rockets, and she wanted everyone to help her make them. They are ready. Makoto asks Meikawa if this is because of what they saw earlier. Yes, it is, and they have to make all the rockets before 11 because Meme told them so. They are sitting together and Meikawa begins the rocket crafting class. She asks Irio if she knows how to make it, but she doesn't. They all learned this in elementary school, but Irio brought it home so her mother could help her. They all start and Meikawa is teaching them along the way, step by step. Irio is having a little difficulty while Makoto and Ryuko are handling theirs pretty effortlessly. They are done and next, they have the cooking class. Everyone thought of making what they like themselves. First, it's Ryuko and Meikawa, and after them, it's Irio and Makoto's turn. Makoto makes something simple for himself, so he doesn't have to put much effort into it. A little later, they are done and sitting at the table with their cooked foods in front of them. Meikawa lets Irio taste her dish and she loves it. Ryuko almost made the same thing and Makoto tries it. After that, they show the rest of the dishes and proceed to eat them. They are sitting after eating dinner when Irio suggests that they should stay at their home tonight because it's late. They all agree.
えらいえらい。
Later, Makoto is outside his room when he hears something flying around the city. Ryuko joins him and gives him a can of juice. He asks Ryuko about Makoto and Ario. Makoto is passed out and Ario is with her. Makoto is serious and wants to tell Ryuko something. He tells her that he plans on siding with Ario if people around don't want to give her any chance of rejoining society. He explains that she should kick him from the back if he happens to be present at the scene, so she wouldn't be isolated like he is going to be. Ryuko giggles and tells him that she cannot side with Ario no matter what, but she is planning on siding with him. This makes Makoto happy. The next day, they are at the beach and the guy who ordered rockets from Makoto is also there. He is ready to test all the rockets and tell everyone to set their rockets up as well. Makoto didn't ask for this life, but he is going with the flow. Meme's grandfather passed away in his sleep and the reason for their death was unknown. Grandma is telling little Meme the way she thinks Grandpa was killed. Meme wonders if the gods are aliens. Grandma tells her yes. Meme is excited because it's her birthday. She wraps herself in a futon like Ario and relaxes for a bit. The next day, she asks her brother, Makoto's father, how to befriend animals for some reason. The day after that, she goes to an abandoned building and tries to befriend some cats, but it doesn't go so well. She got some scratches from the cats. The day after that, Meme is off to her work thinking she should find a way to get Ario a job. Meme goes to meet her grandma. Grandma is sleeping when she shows up at her house. She asks Grandma about her health and offers to do her laundry. Suddenly, she asks her about what she thought when she turned 40. Grandma remembers that Meme's birthday was last week and tells her that she would give her a complimentary snack. Some days later, Meme is playing with a plastic bottle rocket in her room and decides to take it to the gentleman launching them at the abandoned school. She goes to him and asks him about the rockets he has been launching. She knows this guy but doesn't remember her name. He recognizes Meme. She is about to leave when this guy asks Meme out of the blue to marry her. She has no idea what to say to him. The guy brings up Elliot, her husband, before he proposes to her. We get to see the first time Meme met Elliot. She thought of him as a foreign kid and just fell in love with him. Grandma babbles about being the next to die when Meme freaks out. She is worried and wants to save her. Elliot comes up to Meme and tells her she can just wipe them out. In the present, she ran home after the guy proposed to her, without giving him an answer. She is thinking about Ario and how she should have taught her to find the solutions to the problems instead of wrapping herself in a futon. She is not ready to bring a new person into the home where she and Ario have been living for the past few years. For the following days, she has been secretly watching Ario work at her grandma's shop. We get to see what Elliot told Meme. He told her to just wipe the aliens out, and the way to do that is to have faith. Faith involves ceremony and prayer. She goes to the guy who proposed to her. She turns her down and tells her that she didn't even get married to Elliot, and she doesn't want a husband in her family right now. He understands and wants to start with being friends. They sit together and chat for a while. He thought that Makoto was Meme's daughter, but Meme clears this up. She has a request for him. He has already done it. We see what Meme told Makoto the day they all went home with Makoto. Meme goes to her grandma and invites her to the beach tomorrow for the prayer. Grandma agrees, and this makes Meme happy. The next day, Meme takes Grandma to the beach and tells her to just wait and watch. She asks everyone if the rockets are ready. After some time, the rockets are ready to be launched, and on her call, they launch all the rockets. The rockets are in the sky, and Grandma likes the way they are flying. The last one, the big one, is the firework rocket, and it's the one Meme will be using to wipe the aliens out. It launches into the sky and explodes with a huge burst of light and sound in every direction. This blows Grandma's mind, and she is in awe looking at this beautiful scenario. Meme tells her that she managed to wipe out the aliens and Grandma doesn't have to worry about them anymore. Grandma recognizes the guy, and his name is Ashiro. He is one of Meme's oldest friends and is the son of the firework maker. Grandma decides to hand over the shop to Ario after she dies. Everything made no sense at all, I don't know why. Meme wants to take a detour back home and visit her grandpa's grave. Makoto and Ryuko decide to exchange their emails with each other so they can stay in contact. Email for contact. What happened to text messages in Japan? Makoto joins them and exchanges her emails as well. She wonders if Ario has a mobile phone and Ryuko knows she doesn't. Makoa understands that Ryuko is jealous because Irio is with Makoto all the time. Ryuko ignores her and changes the conversation. It's summer break for them and Ryuko and Makoto are riding home together as usual. Makoto always separates from her at the intersection and watches the bridge she crosses to get home. Ryuko assures Makoto that she is a very talkative person and he can send her as many emails as he wants to. Makoto is not very rich, but he agrees. Makoto gets home and Meme welcomes her. He gets the bike from the garage. While he is doing that, he gets a message from Makoa that he likes baseball. Right as he got the message, Makoa called him to ask the same question. She wants him to play baseball with her team early in the morning. She wants him to show up whenever they have fewer players. He agrees and hangs up the call. Makoto goes around the house and sees Irio with her telescope stargazing. She invites him to join her and he agrees. The next day, Makoto shows up to play baseball and Makoa introduces him to her dad. He is the pitcher of their team. Makoto is fielding when one of the fielders asks him why he started playing with them. This is Nakajima, Makoto's classmate. He asks Makoto if he lives on the shopping district side. He tells him that he is in the city side but doesn't know the difference. The city has two sides. One is the city side where Makoa and Ryuko live, and one is the shopping district side. He asks Nakajima if the two sides have a rivalry. Anyways, the game ends and they win. Makoto is sitting with Makoa and she hands him some rice balls from her shop. These are rewards for Makoto's hard work on the field. He doesn't know what to do with the two of them though, so he gives one of them to Hanazawa, a player on their team. She thanks him and Makoa for the delicious rice ball and takes off for her morning training. Makoa tells Makoto that they are all dependent on Makoto and wants him to join for another game of baseball someday. Makoto would be happy to. Getting home, he sees Irio doing an exercise of some sort in the backyard. She asks where Makoto is for the morning. She wants him to join her for the stargazing again tonight. Makoto agrees and she gets back to her exercising. At night, Irio comes to wake Makoto up for stargazing. He gets up and goes outside with her. They start looking at different planets and Irio has a notebook on which she draws what she sees. Irio asks Makoto about the baseball team he plays in and if she can join him. He is beyond happy that Irio finally wants to join a group activity. The next day, Makoto takes her to the baseball ground and introduces her to the team. They start the match and she is in the right field. Ryuko shows up out of nowhere. She is here to practice her basketball. She is looking forward to seeing Makoto cheer her in her basketball match. It's Irio's turn to bat and she hit a cracking shot. The ball hit one of the fielders with a spacesuit costume on the head. She falls to the ground. Everyone is worried, especially Irio. She goes to apologize to the fielder, but she starts acting weird looking at Irio, babbling weird sentences, and Makoto cannot help but feel like this city is filled with freaks. His luck is bad is all. The new girl in the spacesuit is a bizarre one. She thinks she is an alien and an Esper. I don't really know what an Esper is, to be honest. The next day, Makoto is back with Irio to play baseball. The girl with the spacesuit is also there. It's her turn to bat and she cannot even strike a decent shot. Makoto gets to know that she is a specific relative who ran away from home. After the game, Makoa brought sandwiches for Makoto. Makoto thanks her for being so kind to him despite him not playing well in the game. She informs him to save Irio from the spacesuit girl because she is after Irio for some reason. Irio gets behind Makoto and Makoto stops the spacesuit girl. She tells him that she is an alien and so is Irio and they should get along. He doesn't buy what she has to say and Irio and Makoto go their way. He tells Irio to look out for herself, but she has her cousin to rely on. They are going home and Makoto asks Irio if she had fun playing baseball. She did and is looking forward to playing more. They are back home and at night, Makoto and Irio are looking at the stars together. They hear a rumbling noise and see the spacesuit girl sneaking into their backyard. Makoto asks what she is doing here when she tells him that she has no home. Irio runs inside the house and comes back wrapped in the futon. She slams herself into the spacesuit girl and her helmet comes off. Makoto looks at her and she is a beautiful young girl. She introduces herself and Yashiro and wants to get along with them. But Makoto doesn't want to and he and Irio get back inside the house. Yashiro gives up after knocking frantically for a little bit. Makoto goes to his room and his phone is ringing. It's Ryuko, and she is excited to listen to his voice. She asks Makoto if he wants to go to the summer festival with her. Makoto feels like this is a reward for him and agrees. Ryuko tells Makoto about Nakajima and that she asked him out but he turned her down. She wants to ask Makoto but doesn't have the courage right now, but she is getting there. The next morning, Meme lets Yashiro into the house and right now she is having breakfast in their house. Makoto is shocked to see her. Meme tells him she saw Yashiro sleeping outside when she went to hang the laundry. Makoto asks her if she is okay with her in the house. Meme has a personal reason for it. Yashiro reminds her of Elliot when he was little, so she is more than happy with her in the house. Makoto understands. A little later, Makoto has to take Yashiro back to her house, so he is outside with his bicycle. He drops Ario first at the grandma's shop. After dropping off Ario, Yashiro tells him to stop at a destination. She gives him directions and they reach a pool. Yashiro climbs the fence to enter the pool and jumps in it. Makoto decides to leave her and turns around. As he turns around, Yashiro throws a big splash of water on him from within the pool. She did it without a bucket, and this leaves Makoto wondering if she has superpowers. Anyways, he joins her as well, and they spend a good time in the pool. After that, he drops Yashiro somewhere quiet and leaves. He stops at Grandma's shop to meet her as he told Ario and sees Ario sitting outside. She's trying to attract some customers. He tells her to let's go see Grandma as he promised while telling her that she looks tanned. She looks beautiful to him. A beautiful yet naive cousin. Makoto is explaining how he doesn't have the excitement or hobby to play any sports after his parents stopped coming to cheer him. Today is a boring day for him as everyone he knows is at work or someplace else. He plans to ride a bicycle around the city and finds Makoa walking home. He stops to meet her and Makoa offers him lunch at her place. She wants to ride in the basket like Ario does. Makoto agrees, and they are going to Makoa's place. They get home and her parents are at their work as well. She goes to make food for Makoto while he is waiting for her outside. Makoto looks around the house and goes to the backyard only to find Yashiro silently trying to steal tomatoes. He goes to Makoa and asks for tomatoes, making an excuse that these are for a cat outside. She gives him some and he gives them to Yashiro. She eats them happily and leaves, saying she will return the favor sometime. The food is ready and Makoa presents the food. It is looking quite delicious. Makoto eats and compliments her cooking skills. Makoa wants to play video games after lunch and Makoto agrees. They are in Makoa's room playing games when she starts talking about not giving up on things. She calls Makoto a transfer student, but it's been a long time since he has been here. He asks if she can address him by his real name, but she has made a habit of calling him that, so she cannot stop now. After playing games, Makoto is about to leave and Makoa asks if she can invite him again sometime. He would love that, and like that, he got the 3 points he wanted. At night, he is talking with Ryuko on the phone. She is practicing hard for the basketball match and wants Makoto to be there to cheer her. Makoto is looking forward to cheering him. Ario suddenly barges in the room telling Makoto that it's time to see the stars. Makoto tries to make her quiet, but Ryuko realizes who it is. She is jealous of Ario but doesn't want Makoto to know she is jealous. Her phone's battery is dying and she hangs up the call. Makoto invites Ario to go to the school tomorrow to cheer Ryuko, but she has bad memories of the school, so she passes. She wraps herself in the futon again because she is sad now, but suddenly gets excited when Makoto asks her to come see the stars. The next day, he wonders why Yashiro didn't show up today to the baseball game. After the game, Makoto goes to see Ryuko play basketball. Her friend Miki starts screaming that Ryuko's boyfriend came to see her play today. Ryuko doesn't know how to feel about this. He looks around the stadium and sees Yashiro sitting on the floor in her spacesuit. He goes to her and asks why she didn't join them for baseball. She tells her alien story of getting into the baseball team. Of course, Makoto understands what happened and calls her out. Ryuko seems very determined for her game and Makoto likes it very much. Yashiro thinks Makoto and Ryuko should pair up as boyfriend and girlfriend. Ryuko would love that, but I don't know about Makoto. The match starts and Ryuko's team isn't playing that great. Ryuko isn't playing right now, but she's warming the bench. Everyone seems to think Ryuko can't play well, but Yashiro doesn't agree. She thinks Ryuko learns on the job and will advance her skills as she plays. Ryuko is on the field now and it's her turn to play. She starts playing and can't even hold the ball correctly. She is losing control. Her team got 2 free throws due to a foul. It's Ryuko's turn to throw and Makoto gets up to make a great speech to motivate her. She screams how he wasn't good at sports and thought playing doesn't matter, but Ryuko made him believe that determination is everything. She is very encouraged and makes 2 sinks back to back. Her team wins and she is very happy to be the one who made her team achieve the victory when no one believed in her. Makoto felt great for Ryuko. Makoto and Irio are out at sea for some reason. At night, Makoa is on the call with Makoto and asks if he wants to play tomorrow. Tomorrow is the showdown match. Makoto is down and she asks if Irio wants to join as well. She does and Makoa is looking forward to it. Irio wants to see the stars with Makoto, and while they are looking at different stars, Makoto is thinking about what Yashiro told him, that he has the potential to get superpowers and stuff like that. He is wondering where she got the idea that he had the potential for such things. The next day, Meme, Makoto, and Irio are out in their backyard exercising. Meme goes to get ready because she has some work to do. Irio and Makoto get ready for the match. He is helping Irio put on her shows when Meme comes outside with a basket full of delicious food. Makoto thanks her for putting in all this effort just for them. Meme doesn't mind because she used to make a lot of food for her daughter anyways. They have such a calming yet unpredictable personality. They are at the baseball game. Ryuko is already there waiting for Makoto. She is here to cheer him today because he helped her yesterday in her game. She is waiting to see him play. Suddenly, Makoa comes running to them in one of her strange costumes only to tell them that her father ran away. He quit at the last moment and their team doesn't have a pitcher now. Makoa is smiling while she is telling this news to everyone. She isn't fishy or something. This is just the way people around her act. The team is thinking about what to do when Meme shows up in a coach uniform. She appoints herself as their coach and orders Makoto to sit on the bench today because he questions her authority. And she selects Irio as their pitcher. Wow, such great decisions made back to back. The game begins and Irio doesn't even have a clue how to throw a ball. Ryuko is sad that Makoto won't be playing today. Meme orders Makoto to go find Makoa's dad for her as the match is being played. He agrees after Meme screams that he sniffed his aunt's undergarments. Yeah, she is blunt like that. Irio picks up the ball and just throws it without any thought. The pitch hitter misses it somehow, and it's a strike. Everyone is surprised. Anyways, Makoto is riding around the city trying to find Makoa's dad. He is running without stopping on certain bridges. Makoto finds him and tells him how important he is to the team. He should be the hero who comes back in the nick of time to save his team. He is the one who makes his team have hope of winning. Without him, there would be no team. This motivates Makoa's dad, and they are on their way back to the match. He thinks his team would be mad at him for running away like that, but Makoto doesn't agree. They are at the game, and it's batting for their team. Meme selects Makoto as the pitch hitter, and Makoto is ready. Ryuko cheers him by screaming in his ears. They wish Makoto good luck with the hit. He goes to the batting spot and gets his wrist ready for a strong swing. He knows where Hanasa pitches and how he is going to hit the ball at the perfect point. Makoto is looking for those perfect decimal centimeters of the spot to be the point of the hit. Hanazawa pitches and Makoto has his eyes on the ball. He strikes at the perfect time and it's a home run. He throws the ball out of the field in the water. Everyone is celebrating and they have a reason to get their hopes up now. Only 1 innings is left and Makoto is confident that they are going to win the match. Makoa's father agrees to pitch for their team so their victory is assured. Irio loved the way Makoto played out there, and so did Makoa and Ryuko. Meme tells Makoto that he will be getting a reward for this and kisses him on the cheek. Yashiro is looking at them, all happy. She puts on her space suit helmet and leaves. Makoto is in Irio's room where she is sleeping on the floor wrapped in a futon. The next day, it's summer festival today and Makoto is excited. He is waiting for Ryuko as Irio is enjoying the festival with Meme. She shows up and they start exploring all the stalls. Makoto offers to get Ryuko to eat something as a treat for her good performance in her basketball match. She is really happy and Makoto gets her an apple candy. She is enjoying it and offers Makoto to have a bite, but he refuses. Ryuko asks if Irio will be joining them soon. So jealous. He tells her that she is busy with her mother today, so no. Ryuko gets very happy and they go looking for different stalls once again. Ryuko loves all the different scents of food in the air. She offers Makoto a treat due to his amazing performance in his match. They see Maikawa at a grilled eel stall helping out her father and mother. Makoto wants to eat that and Ryuko gets her one eel. Makoto also gets another one and pays for it by himself. Maikawa realizes that they are enjoying each other's time together. Maikawa and Makoto start talking about something in code words and Maikawa pays for the second eel. Ryuko feels left out and demands to be in on the secret. They leave Maikawa's stall and Ryuko is still on about that secret he and Maikawa were talking about. He doesn't tell her. Ryuko instead asks to go roam all the booths again, but Makoto has some place to be. He tells her that he has made a promise to someone and can't go with her. She understands and leaves, running with her jealousy clinging to her. Makoto also leaves the festival. Meanwhile, Irio is waiting for Makoto. Makoto has made a promise to her to see her up above the stairs of the temple. He gets there on time as he promised. He asks Irio about Meimei, but she is busy with some other thing right now. Makoto brought grilled eel for Irio and she loves it. He tells her that Maikawa gave this to her as a treat for the new job. She is happy and eats it with a smile on her face. Irio is waiting for something to happen here and Makoto doesn't have the slightest idea. Suddenly, Irio gets up and runs toward the edge of the stairs, looking up in the sky. Makoto gets up and looks up. These are shooting stars and he realizes that Irio played baseball to get herself out of her curfew to enjoy the view from an open place like this. They are enjoying the nice view and Yashiro comes out from beneath the shrine. She was hiding there for some reason. She wants to show Makoto her real superpowers and Makoto isn't at all interested. Yashiro is confident in herself and makes a great speech about how she was sent here as an alien. She is about to show a sliver of her powers to Makoto. Yashiro tells Makoto to get 3 steps back before she does. She then raises her hand in gestures and suddenly there are fireworks in the sky. Makoto realizes that these are just fireworks, nothing more. Suddenly, a meteorite falls from the sky and hits right where Makoto is standing before taking 3 steps back. He gets injured a little but Yashiro is gone. Only her helmet remains and Makoto can't believe what just happened. For the next few days, Makoto is looking for answers. He is rattled by what happened on that day, but he can't seem to figure out who Yashiro is, if she was an actual alien or not. He is now questioning his own beliefs. If he had the right to make Irio believe something else. Maybe she was right about her thoughts on aliens. Maybe everything good that happened in the last month was because of Yashiro's powers. Maikawa calls to ask Makoto if he wants to play baseball again for next year's match. He rather asks her a question he already asked her before. He asks if she believes in aliens. Maikawa says nope without a breath and is waiting for his answer on the baseball thing. He goes outside and Irio asks if he wants to see stars with her. Maikawa gets a yes from Makoto and he starts gazing at beautiful stars, wondering about his existence.